purchased and it's on my way to me.
Nice. That'll be lots of uses for Rotary going forward. So that's great.
Yes.
To answer your question, Ken, the Bronco, I'm on the waiting list. It's maybe going to be July or August before I get the particular model that I picked out.
Wow. They must be backlogged, or you must be asking for a lot of bells and whistles.
Well, I'm just asking for a 2-door with a removable top in black.
Oh. That doesn't sound that hard.
No, they're making the 4 doors are in production. So the 2 doors are supposed to, at the start of the summer, go into production.
I had a 2-door Bronco. I didn't like it because everybody I had to take up skiing had to go through that passenger seat. Anyway.
Yeah, I have to take less people up skiing with the 2-door, the way I look at it.
I'll never forget, I had this Bronco 2, blue and white, gorgeous car, and I love driving it. And it was great in the snow, but it had locking hubs. It didn't have the electronic hubs. This is back in the 80s. I got it like 1986. And I'll never forget going up skiing for the first time in it. I was so jazzed. And there was this accident in front of me. And this guy I was going up skiing with spilled his coffee all over my brand new car. I was so mad at him. Shoot. At least it was coffee. It smelled okay.
Yeah, that's how I'd go with that story.
It was coffee.
Did I ever tell you guys the story about when I had to move my brother's '69 Bronco?
And you ran it into a tree?
I did not, but it was
That's
the
what
one
you
and
told
only
us.
time I've ever driven a column shift. Had no idea how the gears worked. And it was at my mom's house when she was living on that hill behind what's now the police station. And of course, no power brakes, no power steering. And as I'm trying to come down the hill, there's another car coming up. I got it to stop.
Yes.
1 foot on the clutch, 1 foot on the brake, and stood up, and it stopped.
Yeah.
The only time I've ever driven a column shift, I'm like, never again. Never again.
How can Ken know that, I could...
Because I always know what you're doing, Amelia.
Hi.
I'm omnipresent. Jim Steiner, how's retirement?
Well, to tell you the truth, I failed. I'm actually talking to you from Alameda County, California. I'm down here for 2.5 weeks doing a interim administrator job for a 166-bed skilled nursing facility. So I've been down here for a couple of weeks. I come home on Monday. So I'm a failure at retirement.
Jim Steinruck, I'm going to have Don Steinruck give you a spanking. You're being naughty.
You promise? Awesome.
Oh, I don't think we need to go there.
I do.
Yeah, I know you do.
He probably wants him to bring that money home.
Yeah.
I have direct. She says, make sure you have direct deposit.
Yeah.
That's right. Same thing.
So this is an interesting gig down here. California is California. That's all I can say.
Is that Alameda facility part military or?
No. It's owned by a big corporation out of Los Angeles. They have 77 nursing homes in California.
Wow.
Yeah.
You go around and visit all my relatives there, my wife's relatives, brothers and sisters that live down there.
All right, well, send me the links. I'll do that this weekend.
Because everybody wants to go visiting.
Yeah.
All right, are we all here? We've got 26 participants. Look at that. And Brian, you keep coming back. God bless you.
Yeah.
Crying out loud. Nice deal. All right, all right, all right. Okay, I'm gonna get this show on the road here. Lots to do today. Mr. Sergeant at Arms David Johnson,
Yes, sir.
here on time and in present. Could you please do the pledge to the flag and the four-way test for us, please? Let me share my screen. Oh, yeah, I'll share my screen. Here we go.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God.
Indivisible.
Oh my, what comes next?
Indivisible.
Indivisible,
Liberty.
with liberty and justice for all. That's the first time in 14 years I forgot the words. Let's see how I do on the four-way test. The four-way test are the things we think, say, or do. First.
Is it the truth?
Second.
Is it fair to all concerned?
Third.
We will build goodwill and better friendships.
Fourth.
Beneficial to all concerned.
Fifth.
Is it
Is it
fun?
fun?
Yeah, fun.
Bacon.
Sixth.
God, Megan. Eileen, do you have a thought for the day that may save us from ourselves?
I do. I really like this one. I don't know who the author is, but it is, your life is made of 2 dates and a dash. Make the most of the dash.
Oh, geez.
Do you guys notice that, you know, as an educator, I pause and let that sink in and let you reflect upon that as it applies to your own lives and how you can make it apply to others. So, I'm feeling very philosophic this morning. I just want to remind everybody that I am recording the meeting today, and just in case you need to do something that might not be for posterity, that you might not want for posterity, you might want to turn your camera off and on, and then turn it back on, because we want to see your engaged and smiling faces. Let's see. We have Mariah Lowe with us today. Hi, Mariah.
Hey, good morning.
You're a relative of a Rotarian.
Yes, I am. I'm married in, huh?
Yeah. And you're admitting it, right?
I am, yeah.
Awesome. All right. Mariah's going to be our speaker today, so welcome and thanks for joining us. We also have Brian Ruiz back with us today. He's submitted his membership application. Woo! Yeah. And we look forward to actually all getting together and meeting in person someday so that we can enjoy Rotary together. And Keith's fabulous breakfasts. Birthdays today. Well, no birthdays today necessarily, but Chris Jacobson has a birthday on the 22nd. What are you doing, Chris, for your birthday?
You know, kind of laying low. It's a big 5-0, and it's kind of hit me kind of hard, to be honest with you. I don't know. My wife keeps asking, what do you want to do? And I don't know. I can't wrap my head around it quite yet.
I don't even remember 50.
Yeah, I do appreciate the shout out. We were supposed to have a big party at the Rustic Cork and kind of have it open for just anybody that want to stop by, but you know, clearly we can't do that. So it's kind of a disappointing birthday, but it is what it is.
My buddy's birthday is on the 28th of December. And when he turned 50, we did the Northwest Trifecta. So we went skiing Thursday night at Stevens Pass. Then Saturday morning, we scuba dove out at the jetty out at off Whidbey Island, the Port Townsend ferry jetty, up there by the Tire Reef.
Yep.
And then we played 18 holes of golf.
Nice.
50 years old. That's
Nice.
what you should do, is do something like that.
That would be awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for the shout out, though. Appreciate that.
Happy birthday. Larry Saint and John Spencer, the twins, have their birthday on the 25th. Happy birthday, gentlemen. I think you're probably right around the same age. Are they even on here? Either one?
I don't think so.
Well, they're probably celebrating. Good
Yeah.
on them. No spouse birthdays in March. Marriage anniversaries we've already had. Rotary anniversaries we've already had. So we'll move on to Secretary's report. Gary.
Typical board meeting on April the 8th, Thursday on Zoom at 5:30. And then from the district, they sent out a note that they are scheduling their district club training. It's called a District Club Training Fiesta. And it kicks off on March 31st with a special presentation from a Dr. Kent Keith, Rotarian and author of the Prodigal Commandments, speaking to us about servant leadership in the four-way test. And then following that, they'll be releasing training sessions for leadership, secretary, treasurer, which that's going to be in May, membership, foundation, public image, community service, fundraising, youth services, and adapting to growth Rotary, or to grow Rotary. So that's coming up. Anybody wants, if you want to register for the March 31st, you have to go on the District 5050 website. That's it.
Well, the Fiesta thing sounds promising.
Yes, it does.
There's nothing that goes better with leadership than a Fiesta.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. Thanks, Gary. Treasury support, Chris Vallow, ladies and gentlemen, is in the house.
Yes. So here we are. So we're looking pretty good. We have, I sent out $2,500 to the Lake Stevens Education Foundation related to the Dolly Parton book education, along with $1,000 that Lauren Hull donated in. So that's all been mailed out and done. And I think there's a few membership payments coming in. So we're kind of gathering up the last end of that. And I think that's about it.
Well, thanks, Chris. Are we rich? I mean, that's the bottom line. Okay, good.
Great. We got plus signs going.
Well, we're always rich if we've got friends together. That's awesome. Hey, President's report. I just want to share my screen here. So I got a challenge, and I'm always up for a challenge, but I just wanted to kind of introduce you to it. And I don't really know as much about it as I'd like to know at this point in time. But Bryce Duskin, who's the president of the Arlington Club, has kind of challenged some of the other local area clubs to join in a friendly competition to raise money for the Village Experience Learning Center. And Village Experience Learning Center is a lot like Sherwood in its mission and its values and what it does. And they help people with disabilities have access to education, development, and life skills training. It is in Arlington, however, not that that makes any difference, but what they're doing is an Arbor Day fundraiser that started in February and it goes through April. So he asked us if we wanted to tag on to this. I don't know if it's something that we want to do. I don't think it's something that we would go out and ask for, you know, like huge donations, but something that we would do within the club. But I do want to ask him, you know, on the tree planting, if that has to take place in the Arlington community or Lake Stevens community. So it's something that he asked us if we wanted to engage in, and I'm just introducing it to you. I'm going to put this flyer in the chat so that you can look at it, and I'll get back to him and say we're thinking about it, but we can talk about it some more. What do you guys think? Kind of same as me, that you want to know more first?
Yeah, can I ask a question? Didn't we do tree planting a couple, 2-3 years ago up north?
Yeah, we did it with Gina's husband was, it was
Amish tribe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 2 or 3 years ago.
Right. I think it's worth pursuing, Ken. I know Village Community Services well, and they are a good organization. It makes me think about, is there things that we can do with our local nonprofits as well?
Right.
And partner on something like this in the future.
Yeah. Well, it's a good idea. And, you know, The only thing that gives me pause is that we're raising money for maybe, and that's where I need to get clarification for something that goes outside the community, but we've done that before too. So let me find out more, and I'll talk to Bryce, and I'll come back next week with a little bit more info. Like I said, he just emailed me this yesterday. Arbor Day is the 30th, so this fundraiser would go all the way through April. I don't think it's something that we have to, spend a lot of time on, but if we could, participate in some way, it might be a way to get together. It might be a way to do some stuff. So, and to help people, which is what we want to do. Okay. And that's all I have for President's Report. Past President's Report, Lori.
Yeah, so just more on the Highland Elementary Playground. So that project's moving forward. And Tanya, who is, I think she's, not sure if she's president of PTA. I think she's in charge of this project. But she sent out a video to Gary and I the other day. And one of the things we need to do with this project is we need to do hands-on, not just to write a check. So what we've talked about doing is some from, I think it's a learning center that's there on the campus. And so doing some kind of art installation leading from that learning center to the playground. And so she sent off an example of that. So, oh, excuse me. So we're looking at that and looking at how we can get in there and get our hands dirty. So we'll keep you up to date on that.
Awesome. Thanks, Lori. Rochelle's on. President-elect Rochelle Ploger.
I'm here. No report other than if you're interested in a position on the board or creating a new position, directorship, something, please let me know because we need to put that stuff together and I'd love to have as many people as we can interested in participating. It's really fun. I love it. It's super fun.
Awesome. Keith, Club Services, what was for breakfast this morning?
Oatmeal day.
Healthy. Nice job. And how was camping last week?
It was fantastic.
Where did you go?
We were down in Black Diamond. So it was good.
Auburn is a camping spot?
Yeah, so, well, my mom lives down in Auburn, so we went down and picked her up on the way, and then there's like a little lake, a private lake down there that we stayed on. So,
oh,
yeah,
cool.
It was good.
Well, sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Community Services, Eileen.
Good morning. Tomorrow we have the Interact road cleanup from the high school to Highway 92. I believe that Kristen put in for 12 people. If you're still interested, let me know. I know that they had to have the paperwork into Jill a couple of days ago, but there could be an opportunity to still join. And I think she had 12 people, so that's awesome. And 9 o'clock at high school tomorrow. And that's what I have.
Parking lot.
Yep, parking lot.
Eileen, do we need to bring anything special to that? Like gloves, but anything else?
She didn't specify, but I think it's always good to dress appropriately and bring an extra pair of gloves because you never know. I don't know how many. She gets some stuff from the city, but I don't know what the count is. So it's always good to be prepared. That's a good question. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Can I jump in, please?
Oh, Kristen's here. Sorry, Kristen. Feel free.
No problem. So I do have 15 grabbers from the city. I have vests. I have garbage bags. I have disposable gloves, but if you want some sort of gardening gloves or something like that to protect your hands, that would be great. But what I really, really, really need is somebody with a pickup truck that we could put the bags of garbage in to take down to the city center dumpsters. So if anybody could help out with that, that would be fabulous.
Yeah, I can drive our truck. It's a covered bed though, so you can't like fit as much as a non-covered bed. But, and is it an F-150, Chad? Yeah, it's an F-150, so it's a big bed.
Okay. I'm hoping we don't have that much garbage. I hope we don't have couches or anything like that. But yeah, I have a minivan and I could do it, but I'd rather not. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Is anybody grabbing donuts for tomorrow morning? I could do that. Oh, you are? Okay. Look, I already have them. See?
Day old, huh?
Fancy ones.
Donuts in a bag. Donuts in a bag. Yeah.
You've hit the big time now. I can
Oh,
tell.
yeah. Mike Snow gave those to me. I'm not going to eat them though.
You
Too
can
bad
drop
the
them off.
new donut shop isn't open.
It's not?
Not yet.
Okay.
Or at least it wasn't yesterday.
Well, Hagen's and Safeway always have fat pills to deliver.
Right.
All right. Where are we at here? Membership, Ron.
Hello, good morning. Welcome back again, Brian. I look forward to putting you through the rigorous board drilling of your application. I'm sure you'll do fine, but it's a pretty tough process. So that's about all on membership, and hopefully me and Keith can get together here in the near future and start discussing our plans for our possible hybrid club, and maybe he'll invite me over for some oatmeal. So that is my report.
Awesome. Oatmeal's better than donuts. It would be interesting to have a club initiative. Go through the gauntlet and jump over all those things. That would be awesome. Brian, would you be up for that?
How about I have my 18-year-old son run it for me, but I'll set it up in my parking lot. How about that?
Well, that was actually the test. You passed.
Ken, these aren't your Wazoo days, so let's just forget about that. So
Yeah, no kidding. I was hoping he'd say that. I'd hire somebody to do it for me, because we're all beyond that stage of our lives. International services, Tracy.
Yes, I have to say thank you again to Kristen because she bailed me out one more time. There was a board meeting last night. So I'll let her give that update really quick. But Kristen, I do have to apologize. I have not sent emails, the list of emails to them yet. So I remembered, I just haven't done it yet. So Kristen, take it away.
Yeah, it was actually not that long of a meeting yesterday, Tracy, so I kind of was away. But there are still 208 students that are unfunded. Those of you who have supported students, thank you very much. And there's talk that we're not going to be able to fund it through just people in Rotary. So if you know somebody that's interested in helping kids in other countries, it's a wonderful opportunity. So Tracy can get you the information on that. But it's kind of sad. 208 is a big number. And there's a group of 4 people going down in April. So a quick turnaround for somebody going back down.
Very cool. Thank you, Kristen. I appreciate you having my back. That's all I have, Ken. Thanks.
Thanks, Tracy. I want to give a shout out to Kyle Strand, who hooked me up with a guy named Gary Carrier, who he graduated from high school with, who's running an entrepreneur program for people in South America to develop untapped talent. It is really fascinating. He's going to be our guest speaker on April 23rd, where he has educational programs in the favelas in Brazil, Brazil. And it is really a fascinating program. I thought it would dovetail nicely with our Central American program. It's pretty cool. All right, Interact. Kristen, do you have anything additional, or are we good?
Just, we were supposed to have our meeting with Ashley Point today. I kept sending emails and found out the woman that I was communicating with no longer works there. So that was kind of a shock. But we do have an event planned next Wednesday where the Interact members are going to go hide painted rocks around Ashley Point for the residents to look for. So we're still planning things. It's just not quite the same as what we originally intended. So we're keeping busy.
Thanks, Kristen. Vocational, Lance.
So I checked emails this morning. We still only have the one scholarship application at this point. And so I fired off an email to Kim LaFortune this morning at the high school, asking her what we can do to help promote this more and sharing your idea, Ken, about maybe extending that deadline and getting her input on that. I also, Rochelle and Gary, if you didn't see it, I just copied you on an email to Teresa Hussman, who is, I think, the contact at Snowile for the vocational scholarships, and asking her if there's anything that we can do to help promote those scholarships at Snowile, the vocational scholarships. And then Kristen, you sent me an email about some information of the students that are going to attend Yale. And it's a Google Doc that needed a password, so I just requested permission to be able to get into that doc. But Kristen, do you have any more updates on the students that are attending Yale?
So we have 4 members that are attending, and it starts in a month. So they're pretty excited. And 3 of the kids' biographies are here. I'll get Naomi's on there as well. But you have permission now. I've granted you.
Awesome. So I'll put that together in some format and send it out to the club so that you guys can see these great students that are going to be attending Yale. Thank you.
Thanks, Lance. Rochelle, anything for public relations?
Not a ton, other than I did share on our page. So everyone knows we love Sherwood Community Services. We're a supporter of them in the community, and they're having their annual wine and dine this year, actually right now. It's a little bit different. It's an online auction. And then there'll be an event this evening with their live. So please go to our Facebook page or Sherwood's and click register and bid. There's some really awesome local items. It's a great opportunity to pick up some things that you wouldn't have purchased otherwise in town. And at restaurants, there's some trips. And then tonight there's some really special items. So please go on our page and check it out, register, bid high and often.
Nice little wine rack too.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
True craftsman.
Yeah, I wonder who did that.
There'll probably be something for a Rotary auction in the future.
Yeah.
Great news.
I have some end tables that are of similar craftsmanship. They're awesome. Foundation, is Jim here? Daylight savings may have knocked Jim out of the loop.
I think it did.
Yeah. Any other announcements before we get started with some fundraising of our own? Then I will turn it over to Mr. Sergeant at Arms David Johnson.
All right. And today I have an assistant sergeant of arms who's going to help me with this. This is Murphy. Say hello, Murphy.
Hello, Murphy.
Hi, oh, we can do better than that.
Hello,
So
Murphy.
everybody, say hello, Murphy.
Murphy.
Murphy says thank you. All right. So how is everybody today? Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Oh, that was so lame.
Good morning.
Murph, don't you agree? Do you think that
Well,
was
you
lame?
know what Murphy's Law does.
Yeah, Murphy's Law. Murphy's Law says let's try it one more time. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Good morning.
Now we're talking. All right. So I have to find people, do I? But what if nobody deserves to be fined?
You look like you're napping, DJ.
What's that?
You look like you're laying down in bed.
Well, no, I'm just leaned over so to make sure that both Murphy and I can get in the screenshot.
Oh, that's
Because
your
Murphy
excuse.
says, you know, Murphy wants to be in. So I don't think I could get one of my chickens to sit still enough. So you have to settle for Murphy.
We love Murphy.
All right, Murphy, you're free now. All right, let's see here. So it's Friday, and I'm afraid it's Blue Friday. So anybody have anything Seahawks on? It'll cost you
I have a
$1.
Vancouver Canucks hat close to me, but that's probably not.
Does anybody know why it's Blue Friday?
No.
Free agent week? No.
Because they didn't.
Well, he's not free, but he's trying to be free.
Because you said so?
He's trying to shake down the Seahawks.
You're not talking about a quarterback, are you?
Yep. Murph says, see, Murph knows who it is.
Yeah.
So that's $1. So now let's try something else here. So if you have spoken so far during this meeting, it'll cost you $1. So by acclamation, say hear, hear, if you indeed have spoken.
Hear, hear.
Here, here.
Here.
All right. Now, if you had not spoken, it'll cost you $2.
So, DJ.
So by acclamation, let's say hear, hear.
I got a question. Does the Pledge of Allegiance sound? Or
Uh-oh, a troublemaker. There's always a troublemaker.
well, I mean, we need to know.
Okay.
The rule of law.
What's your question?
Pledge of Allegiance. Does that count as speaking?
Well, normally it would, but when it's
Only if you remember the words.
When it's botched so badly, I'm not sure it counts.
What about the four-way test?
Well, I got that right.
Yeah, I can't imagine that you didn't find yourself for not knowing the pledge to the flag.
Well, I know it. It just, it just was a momentary glitch in time. I was temporarily transported to another dimension, and then before I knew it, I was back.
Was that dimension the 60s?
It may as well have been. May as well have been. So I'll find myself $5 for that. So that's probably a good segue into let's go the self-fining route today. Who wants to find themselves? Any Catholics in the house?
I'll fine myself $5 for missing last week's meeting. We went to Long Beach, and $5 of happy bucks for that trip and the getaway, and for Sherwood's success tonight on Wine and Dine.
What's the deal about Catholics?
Well, so
I'm not going to be fined because the Pope did something.
All thoughtful people experience a little guilt here and there. But at the risk of categorizing people or an entity, it seems to be a little more institutionalized in the Catholic faith. So when I said, let's find ourselves, and nobody popped up right away, I thought, well, if we have any Catholics in the crowd, maybe they could lead it off, given that they might have just a tiny bit more experience than everybody else.
I'm not Catholic, but I could find myself, DJ.
Okay. Do I get canceled for even saying that?
Yeah, I could be. It's a.
Can I be? Hey, all in favor of canceling me, say aye.
You keep trying, you're unsuccessful.
Well, okay, go ahead, Gary.
I'm gonna find myself $5 for whatever my wife thinks I should.
I'm going to find myself $5 because I got an email from our club secretary on Wednesday saying that join us for our meeting tomorrow on Thursday. And so I joined the meeting. Being the president of the club, I was nervous and I didn't want to miss out. Then I realized he was playing an early April.
Yeah, somebody finally read my emails.
My bad. So $5 for me.
Next.
I guess I'll do $5 because I gave the wrong meeting day.
What happened to your head?
Oh, shit.
Can I borrow some of yours? You obviously have more than enough to share.
Sure. How many would you like?
Whatever you can afford, because it matches the same color of my hair.
I'll let you know after I brush my hair this morning.
No, get a haircut first.
No, that's well way in the past. That's pre-COVID talk, baby.
We'll pay for you to get a haircut.
No. Well, how much?
I'll get $5 for that.
How much will you pay?
I got 10 for that.
Per hair?
No, just 10 overall. I think we could, maybe that's our fundraiser.
Shaving the head.
No, I got a year invested in this. It would take like at least 25,000.
Yeah.
Hey, Mariah, how much time?
Donate it.
Mariah, how much time do you need?
Probably 15 minutes.
Okay. Do you need to share your screen?
I do.
Okay. Well, we've got a little more time then. Do you want to do Happy Bucks, DJ? Or are we still finding?
Sure, let's do. Did anybody tell the speaker that before she can speak, she has to cut her hair?
Oh, ouch. Thanks, DJ.
You're so very welcome. Yes, let's do Happy Bucks.
I'll do $5. Bev goes in for her second knee replacement surgery on Monday.
Oh.
Ooh, good luck to that.
Yeah.
I've got $5. I'm happy that in a few days I get to come home. I've had enough of California.
I just fed the dog sit and that'll cost you $5.
I have to pay $5 Bucks because I just got out of dog feeding duty this morning.
I think that in the background.
I have $5 because here again, it's Friday. It always seems like you wake up on Monday, 3 minutes later, it's Friday, so the weekend's coming.
There's no weekends in real estate.
I know, I just pretend.
I'd like to do $5 Happy Bucks, just to thank everybody for supporting Sherwood and donating, and we really appreciate your support. So thank you.
And I've got $5 Happy Dollars. I just want to say how awesome the Interact Club is, and Kristen's leadership of the Interact Club, and the community service that they do, and the work that they do, and how community service minded they are. I think it's awesome. So great job.
If you really want to feel young, you ought to attend one of those meetings, because she comes up with some interesting games to play, even for us old folks.
We pushed Gary's brain a little bit on Wednesday.
Push it. That's an understatement.
Okay, I just cut my hair, so that will cost everybody $1.
Yeah, right.
Does it look different?
Looks better.
Well, there you go. That's $1.
Did Murph cut it?
Yeah. Put a bowl over my head and just trimmed away.
Hey, by the way, Nancy O'Brien's back on.
Oh, wait, Jess wants to say hi. Say hi, Jess. Good morning, everyone.
I just want to ask, did Nancy O'Brien just join us, or has Nancy been here the whole time?
Nancy's been here the whole time.
Okay.
And she has a $5 happy buck because Daniel O'Brien finished his last college class yesterday. So we have 2 boys out and done with college.
Hey.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So cool. We're stoked. He's stoked. It's good stuff.
Cool. Congratulations. Anybody else?
Well, then thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas Jefferson.
Yes, Thomas Jefferson, not David Johnson.
Right.
Or is it Jerry Garcia? Maybe we should have a "Who does DJ look like" contest.
I think it's the guy named Adams that was a backwoodsman.
Andrew Jackson.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
you guys are on a good roll. Keep going.
Don, do you want to introduce Mariah as our speaker today? And Mariah, I've made you co-host, so you can share your screen whenever you want to.
Okay.
Well, absolutely. And thank you, Mariah, for agreeing to give us a little update on our sewer district. And that's something that I always appreciate. Whenever I go kayaking on the lake and I look at all of the houses all the way around the lake and think what our lake would be like if we were a little further out in the area and did not have a sewer system and had nothing but thousands of septic tanks scattered around. So anyhow, looking forward to getting caught up and what's happening and where you're going with growth and all that kind of stuff.
Awesome. Thanks for the introduction, Don. Can you guys see my screen? Does it look normal?
Yes.
Okay. It's on my end. I can't see it, so I'm hoping you guys can. So just a little bit, I've been general manager here at the Lake Stevens Sewer District for 4 months now. So a whopping 4 months is the extent of my tenure. I know Tanya Christofferson had given you a presentation a few years back, so we'll just build on that sort of information as well. I think it's interesting that the March issue of the Rotarian magazine was about septic systems and failing septic systems. That's just a nice tie-in for us. And for your information, this is a map of Lake Stevens that includes, we estimate there's about 16 to 1,700 septics within our district boundaries. So the green dots on there are less than 200 feet from the public sewer system, and then black dots are over 200 feet. And the 200 feet rule is once somebody's septic system fails and they're within 200 feet, we do require them to hook up to the public sewer system. Okay, so a little bit about where we've been. The Lake Stevens Sewer District was established in 1957, and it was in response to a bacterial contamination and algal blooms in the lake. And we're a special purpose district formed under Title 57 of the RCW. And the first wastewater treatment facility began operations in 1965. It was a 1.4 acre lagoon, which was expanded with another 8.5 acre lagoon in 71. And then additional clarification was added in 86 for that treatment. We recognized that the population was growing and that in order to meet the needs, we'd need a new treatment plant facility. So that began planning in early 2000. So the new wastewater treatment plant facility was 2009, we began the actual building of it. Up until 2005, the district operated within the Lake Stevens UGA, but not within the city limits. And the new treatment plant was completed and began accepting sewage in 2012 and was accepted by Ecology in 2013. And then the old treatment plant was finally decommissioned in 2019, and that will be transferred over to the city later this year. So the property no longer operates, the old treatment plant facility no longer operates as part of the septic system or the sewer system, but it, the land itself and the buildings on it will be transferred to the city. So growth is something that we've continued to see. This is just a chart of within the last 10 years of the number of customers that we've seen grow within the district. And it's just obviously linear going up, right? So in 1960, Lake Stevens was formed, 1961, and there were only 900 people within the city. Now that we've grown quite a bit, by 2035, we're estimating there'll be about 46,000 people within the city of Lake Stevens. So the wastewater treatment needs of the city are also growing. The district is regulated by several different entities, including the Clean Water Act, which is the Water Pollution Control Act of 1948, which was updated in 71 to the Clean Water Act. And then in 87, I only mention this because state revolving funds were established, and those state revolving funds are how we funded a good portion of the new wastewater treatment plant. We also have discharge limits with our NPDES permit. We have 2 cycles of that permit, a wet season and a dry season. And those are from the EPA, but then administered through the Department of Ecology. We're also required for pre-treatment programs. So that's everything from like dental offices to restaurants and commercial and manufacturing, to control their pre-treatment discharge into the public sewer system. And those are under 40 CFR Part 403. And then coming up next year, our regulations always are increasing. And so we have a nutrient general permit that will also be imposed on us. So what happens once it gets down to that treatment plant and we treat it? Most of what comes into the plant is water-based, and so we treat that water, and then there's also the solids. So once the water is all cleaned up, we have a few things we have to make sure that it is clean enough in order to go out the outfall, which is into the flue. So we have the carbonations, biochemical oxygen demand, which is a 5-day sample, total suspended solids, a pH of fecal chloroform, copper, ammonia, and the amount of flow. So we're limited to about 5 million gallons a day that we can discharge into EV flue. And then the solids, we produce Class B biosolids, which we test for some heavy metals and also for fecal chloroform. And then those are land applied in Eastern Washington. So it becomes fertilizer in order to grow crops. Okay, changing gears just a little bit. These are our rates, and it's not always apples to apples when we compare rates. These are just Snohomish County, the white line being the sewer district. We're at $86 a month for a single family residential. And we have been since 2017. So we know we are on the higher end of what Snohomish County is charging, but not the highest. So what do those rates go for? Is about 45% goes to maintenance and operations of the system. And then the other 55% is just to debt principal and debt interest. So none of your monthly rates actually go into capital facilities. Anything that's identified as a CIP within the comprehensive plan gets collected as general facilities charge or connection fees when somebody joins the system. And so those are what's actually paying for most of our capital facilities. Last year we spent about $6.5 million on capital improvements. This year, we're going to spend at least 7 million, and that may be more by the time we get through these projects. The map there that I'm showing is pipes within the city that are over 50 years old. And that's simply because we know that they're aging. The life expectancy of the pipes is about 50 years old. And so we're really focusing on these areas throughout the system in order to make sure that we're maintaining them so that we don't have a failure in the future. But of those, it includes the pipe that's actually in the lake, so our lake line. So this year, we joined with the city, and it's about a 50-50 split on a new Vector decant facility, and that's over near Hartford. So what that is when we clean out the lines, we can dewater, collect the solids in order to dispose of them properly, and then the water gets treated through the system once it is cleaned up just a little bit. So both the city and the district will be using this facility. We also have, these are lift stations. So a lift station is any area where we need to move what is in the septic or the sewer system from a lower elevation to a higher elevation. And some of them are quite large, but then some of them just serve smaller neighborhoods. So we operate 30 lift stations within the district. And so these are 2 of them that need upgrades. A smaller one called Lift Station 4C that serves a smaller neighborhood that needs electrical upgrade as well as a general generator upgrade. And then 6C that'll need an upgrade of the electrical and controls, but also the wet well so that we can get in there and get it cleaned out. Lift Station 5C, we're looking at decommissioning that. And in order to do that, we're getting an easement in order to reroute the sewage to a different site so that we can do that by a gravity main. Lift Station 2C, that's the one that you see on 20th there near Jay's Market. The problem with 2C is when we have a heavy rain event downtown, we end up taking quite a bit of the storm water instead of just septic water. So our guys are out there moving sandbags and such. When that happens, we're changing this one from a wet well, dry well to a submersible pump and then increasing capacity. So downtown can expand and grow once we increase that capacity down there. The downtown, a few years ago, Lake Stevens passed the downtown sub-area plan. So in response to that, we also need to increase our capacity of the lines down there. So we're going to go from 10-inch pipes to 15-inch pipes in order to increase the amount of growth that can happen downtown and move the pipes themselves. So the downtown area will change a little bit. 1C takes quite a bit of the flow from downtown in order to get it up and over the hill. And so we are upgrading 1C. The deed for 1C has a neighborhood restriction that nothing over 2 feet can be above ground. So this one, we actually have a generator in a vault under the creek. And so we need to upgrade that vault in order to keep our generator safe. We've had several water leak issues that then destroy the diesel generator that's under the creek. Next one is Lift Station 22. This is our newest lift station that was just installed in 2020. And the lift station, it was the first step in lifting about 3 moratoriums on building over in that area. And so this lift station, we're adding some additional odor control in that capacity, and that'll be probably about $130,000. The next one was the SR 9204 intersection. And since we don't know exactly what the plan is for this one, we have 2 major pipes that run across that area. And based on the easement, if they change the elevation of the roadway, we're going to have to move the pipes. So since they don't actually have a solid plan yet, we don't know the extent of how we're going to have to move those. but we do know that we will definitely be impacted. And then the last one is the SR 924th Street crossing. This is a roundabout that's going in with the city's Costco project down there. We were estimating about $500,000 would be needed in order to bore across Highway 9. It'll take the sewer system from that Costco area and then extend it across Highway 9 in order to expand the service area in that area. And then it would be remiss of me not to mention all the things, as you've heard in past presentations, about what should not go down your sinks and your toilets and your any drain system. So avoiding those fats, oils, and greases that can destroy the system. Tree roots in the yard also destroy your side sewers. We've found toys and hair. That big hairball right there in that picture is actually our plant that was lifted out of our system. It just collects and collects, and it's things like you hear the flushable wipes. They may flush, but then they just clog in the system, and it creates more of a problem either for you personally or in the full system. And the more maintenance we have to do to clean them up, the more it's going to cost. And that is it. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
On the cost revenue side, you mentioned that such a large portion of your budget goes to debt service, basically. And I'm assuming a lot of that is for the plant and that type of thing. Although you do have a lot of maintenance and improvement projects you're planning. Do you anticipate a reduction of the cost of debt in the years to come, or do you think it's going to be kind of holding steady?
So we have a plan to keep paying them off by 2033, where the majority of the debt should be gone. We've paid off $36 million in the last 2 years by refinancing and then paying down with some additional capital we had. So the hope is that we will be a debt-free entity by 2033.
Cool.
Mariah, I heard a little bit about the capacity of the plant being huge because you guys really looked forward to the growth in Lake Stevens. So how much of the current capacity of the plant are we using?
So what we did when we built the plant is we planned for the future. And so there's like an extra basin. So we used 2 of the 3 basins, and then there's space in order to add additional trains. So it wasn't that we built it for too much capacity in the beginning, but we built it so that it would be easy to upgrade it and not cost so much down the road. Gotcha. So we are sitting right now at about 5 million gallons a day. Ecology requires once you hit 80% of any of the requirements that they have, whether that's flow or the amount of nutrients that you're putting out, that you have to submit a plan for how you're going to upgrade the plant. We anticipate right now, we have a holding spot in the budget for about 2035 of when that upgrade is going to have to happen, but it's all dependent on the population growth of the city.
You mentioned early on that people that are currently on septics that have a failed septic and have to be migrated over to the sewer, which is if it's 200 feet away. Who pays the cost for that? Obviously, it's probably going to go way beyond that person's property, or could go way beyond the property.
Okay, that's a good question. So when you're required to hook up to the septic system, there's a general facility charge that I talked about there. And what that is buying into the current infrastructure of the system. Just like if it was a new building or new development would buy in, transferring over any type of residential unit onto the system would also get charged that fee. So did that answer it? Don?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But I'm just thinking the cost of cutting into a street, you know, and trenching and getting the pipe, literally getting the pipe over to the house.
So we only control what's within the right of way, and then everything else is the responsibility of the property owner. And so even your side sewer that goes between your house out into the roadway, that is the responsibility of the homeowner. So if you had a clog in that area or a tree root, it also is the responsibility of the homeowner.
Okay, well, that helps a lot from the standpoint of the right-of-way cost. If that's not on the homeowner, that's great.
Yeah. Anything else? Great question.
I guess I was surprised by the number of septic systems that still exist within the city limits. A city that I lived in before moving here, when they put the sewer in, you were required to hook up within 1 to 2 years, I think.
Yeah.
So we haven't taken that approach in Lake Stevens, huh?
We have not, and it's been a lot of development driven for where the system goes. The other problem is because of our topography within the system, some of those areas are not even able to be served.
Gotcha.
So even though you might be 200 or 300 or 500 feet from the public system, if it is at the top of the hill from you, it's going to require a pump to get it up there. And that may be detrimental to getting it hooked up.
So if those properties were developed, purchased and developed, would they be required at that point? Would the developer be required?
So the developer will put in a facility in order to do that lift station. So you might end up with one of those smaller lift stations like I showed that can service an area and then get it up to the system. And so when developers put it in, they can always do it cheaper than government can. So they put it in and then they donate the facility back to the district in order to get credit on those GFCs. And then when they donate it, it becomes the district's responsibility to maintain going forward.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. I do miss being with you in person and making breakfast and all those things. So, but I would commend you guys on being able to continue on. Other service clubs haven't figured out how to meet or gave up on it, but you guys have been doing a great job and continuing the mission. I appreciate it. So, thanks.
And thanks for coming and sharing that with us today, Mariah. That's really interesting stuff. And we'll make a $25 donation to the Dolly Parton Imagination Library on behalf of your name and in behalf of your presentation today. So thanks for joining us today. That was interesting stuff. I could say something else, but I won't.
Yeah, right. Be careful.
Yeah, no, that's good. It's all good. It's just interesting how the topography of Lake Stevens and the sensitive ecology of Lake Stevens really kind of creates this mindset amongst really everybody in our town about we need to be sensitive about biosolids and having a good sewer system. So thanks for all the work you do on that, Mariah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. I'm taking off.
All right. Anything else for the good of the order, anybody? Have a super weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.